Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the Thursday, November 17, 2022 Planning Board meeting. I'd like to have everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, introduction to board members. To my far left, we have Paul Amatucci and Jerry Graybill, myself, Michael LaRue. We have Phil Roy, Matt Henry, and Don Ganarelli. We also have Dave Andreessen, the Planning and Code Enforcement Technician. Lee J. Feldman from SMPDC. Hi, Lee J. All right, next is the first public comment.
Lee J, are you there? Can you hear us?
I am, and I can hear you.
All right. Hi, Lee J.
Hi everyone.
Hi.
All right, no one here and no one else on Zoom. I'll close the first public comment. There's no public hearing scheduled today, so the next is the approval of minutes for November 3rd, 2022.
Having reviewed the minutes from November 3rd, I see no discrepancies. It's an accurate depiction of what we did, and I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor? All right, and then Dawn, you weren't here, so you're going to abstain.
I'll abstain. Yep.
All right, moving right along. Old business, there's none scheduled, and then the new business is sketch plan review, the Berwicks, Pine Hill Road, and Cemetery Road, map R36, lot 38, civil consultants.
Hi, everybody. My name is Neil Raposa. I'm with Civil Consultants here on behalf of Pine Hill Realty. And we are presenting for sketch plan a residential subdivision and multifamily development on Pine Hill Road. If you've had a chance to look at the materials that were submitted, the lot basically is a lot that traverses between Pine Hill Road and Cemetery Road. There is an existing single-family house. It'll be cut off with its own lot in the R1 zone, and then multifamily development here that will take the density from the remaining lot. Excuse me. Going to take the density from the remaining lot and also create two separate single-family lots with frontage on Cemetery Road, and those will be served by an extension of the municipal utilities through an easement along the backside of the multifamily lot through here. We have been through some review with the fire chief and a police chief review, which is where we determine the geometry of that entry road through there. So currently, it's a widened 24-foot wide two-way entrance through here with a one-way that traverses around, then widen back out for fire safety at the end of that lot. This is more of a close-up of just multifamily development because it's more of the design that we focused on as opposed to the rest, which is basically just open area being utilized for the density.
Are these basically townhouses?
Yep, it's going to be all townhouses sold out, so it'll be a condo association that's going to be created for this. As of right now, they are intended to be all sprinkled with a sprinkler building, a sprinkler room for each building here. Switch over to this sheet. This is sheet L3 with the utilities, and this is kind of what, after discussion with previous staff, the water district and sewer district, this would be the plan to develop the utilities in the area. So we'd have an extension of the main here with an 8-inch ductile iron main coming out to a blow off prior to that, the limit for the requirement for a fire hydrant, and then the remainder would be private lines out to these two lots with a shared easement that's exaggerated for the dual utilities. This project, as it's presented now, is not required to go to DEP beyond the permit by rule. We kind of did that for two reasons. One, we did not want to impact this wetland to cross through and get any additional units on that side. And also, if we keep it up front here, we can still utilize filtration area and maintain excuse me, and maintain the same stormwater impact requirements for the town, but not have to file for the state permitting, because that really can hold up projects for months and months, as you've seen. So. Happy to take any questions, or
What's the status of the condo docks?
condo docs. They have not been. We have not started those yet.
Okay.
We want to come in and make sure that the layout and the configuration, the number of units was correct before we went into that. And also, this one's going to have some more language that's unique to the property, just due to the fact that we're going to be utilizing that shared utility easement throughout the back there.
Neil, what did you call those again? Condo
It's going to be condo units, yeah.
condo locks? What
No,
did you
it's
say?
No, it's just a condo.
Condos.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just
Gotcha.
townhouse style condo.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's 2-story.
Correct. Yep, they're most likely going to be two-story. It's all going to be, governed by the max height, but the two-story townhouses here is kind of the typical development.
So you guys have already worked out the utility easement, or is that to be determined?
No, the actual language of the easement is still to be determined. We were working with Star on trying to figure out the best way to word that, and I've basically said to the developer, go to your land use lawyer and your attorney who's going to be writing this up, and make sure they're in contact with the town to make sure everything's covered in there and everyone has the access that they need to maintain those lines back there. So we set that that area aside and just took it into account when we did our density calcs. But beyond that, the language in that easement has not been drawn up yet.
Okay. And you mentioned you did get concurrence with the fire chief on the fire hydrant plan?
Yes. Well, yep. When we talked with Chief Plant, he was okay, because there's a hydrant right out at Pine Hill Road, right across from here. So the distance here is within his within their limits, so it doesn't require an additional hydrant. The only thing that might have required it is the distance we extended this line. That was up against the it's 525 or 475, but the maximum length you can go without putting a hydrant in, we kept it just below that and did a blow-off valve instead. So.
And he's okay with the radius of your cul-de-sac there for getting his apparatus through?
Yep. That's one of the things we talked about with him. The first time I went in, this was all just a one-way, and we kept it all just a 20-foot wide drive through here. And then when we looked at this, it was kind of indicated that he'd prefer if we made that 24, in case we needed emergency vehicles, plugging this up, we'd still be able to get even one-way traffic out and around it. So we widened this portion up, and then the rest of this was just with the 67-foot radius for the big machines, and just kept that at 20 foot wide the rest of the way.
BJ, do you have anything to add or comment on?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of little things. You do have my memo, which really goes to address even ahead of this game when they get to the preliminary stage. So I think for the most part, Neil's done a good job with the plan. But the two things that I just wanted to ask was making sure that we get a copy of the condo documents so that they can be reviewed prior to final approval. And Neil, I'm kind of curious as to where your mail gang box is going to be located, because I see something at the bus stop that might suggest that. I see the bump out at the back of the loop road that might suggest that, and you've got a box located in the parking area that might suggest that. So I'm curious as to where your mail getting boxes may be located.
Yep, no, thank you. I appreciate that, EJ. Right now, the mail gang box is to be located at this turnoff location near the parking area, and that's mostly just for ease of access for the residents without creating a situation where they're blocking any of the entrance through there, and allowing the mail delivery to have a turn off here without causing more congestion at the entrance. This portion here that's shown down near the entrance is something that was discussed with the prior planner about having an area for bus pickup so that the town would not have to have the buses coming through the development and having an area for the students to wait. So that was the intent of that, and to have a separated walk down to that area and all the way to Pine Hill Road for future use or for use just to access the road.
Other than that, I think it's a pretty straightforward project. Not a lot of issues here, and as I said, Neil does a good job all the time anyway, and I don't see any significant issues with this project.
Okay, thank you.
Good, thanks.
Thanks.
Must be something else. So this must be the mail. Yeah.
Is this one we've previously seen?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
This
It looks
this is
very
just sketch.
eerily similar to that one.
Yep.
I can answer any other questions you have.
No, that's it. All right. So next is the second public comment. All right. Seeing no one step forward, I'll close that. Any informational items?
I have a couple informational items. So, Christy Rabaska, you guys might remember her. She's from Integrated Environmental Engineering. She's been to this meeting a couple times before, and she works out of her home out in Cape Elizabeth. But anyway, she wants to come to the next planning board meeting on December 2nd to talk with us, because we're going to have to possibly change some of our ordinances, which will get voted on in June, which means that we have to get them in by March. So we have a 3.5-month window there that we could work on these ordinances. She wants to see our ordinances, so I provided her with the copy of our ordinances, and she's going to make any changes that she thinks is necessary. So then this board will vote on it. It'll go to the selectmen, and then it'll go, if they approve it, it'll go to the voters in June. So she's going to be coming out for that meeting.
What sort of ordinances is she contemplating?
That's a good question.
Lee J's.
Yeah,
EJ
Lee J can
knows.
help with that.
Thank you. Christy Rabaska actually works a lot through Southern Maine Planning and Development Commission in the CAX area, which is the Kittery Area Transportation System, which is a part of the SMPDC Metropolitan Planning Area, which is a federally designated transportation area. And she does all of the stormwater work for the MS4 communities, which is a federally designated area, of which Berwick is an MS4 community. So the stuff that Christy will look at and make recommended changes on for you really has to do with stormwater, with low impact development standards, and the like. I happened to have been in York last week for a development review, and Christy was there as well, speaking to them, and York is one of our other MS4 communities. So she's not necessarily an outsider. You folks just never really see her, but she does a lot of stormwater work in the designated metropolitan planning area for us.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw her a couple months ago talking about the MS4 stuff.
Yeah, she been
She
to a
was
few
at that
meetings.
workshop. Yep.
Thanks, Lee J.
Also, we hired a new code enforcement officer. In case you didn't know, Jennifer departed, and we hired Irish, and she is got a wealth of knowledge. It was one of four assistant CEOs in the town of Wells. So she's coming over here. She had an interview a couple weeks ago. She got hired. She came over today to see the office. We've developed a great rapport. She knows what she's talking about. She's going to be good. She's going to be a good fit, and she'll be at all these meetings as well. So she'll be on Monday, and then finally I have the month of December. Technically, by the rules, we're supposed to have one meeting. So for December 1st, I've got a pretty. I'm going to have a plan presented to you. The gentleman was here a couple weeks ago. He was here for sketch plan review, but he's filed a plan. He's going to be here, and also Christy's going to want to talk to you guys. So as well, as long as Neil doesn't want to get this project started tomorrow, it's entirely up to you guys whether or not we have another meeting in December. Just throw that out there. And that's all that I have.
Dave, if it's not too administratively arduous, would it be possible to get before we've addressed the ordinance changes, would there be a possibility of doing maybe just a simple spreadsheet to document any substantive changes, like what the old requirement was and what the new proposed requirement is? That
Yeah.
way we just get a visual, because it's a lot to digest, I think.
I'll
for
ask
everybody.
Christy to come up with that.
Okay.
She's super solid with that stuff, so I'll ask her to come up with that.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think a lot of things are just added to it. There's not going to be that
Gotcha.
much changes. It's just going to be a lot of adding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Lee J, did you have anything else?
I don't. I'm good. What I will indicate though is that other project that you're talking about that's coming forward, David, is one that Hannah from my shop is handling. So you won't see me for that project. You'll see Hannah. Unfortunately, you'll see probably a lot of both of us because my office has become very, very busy doing development review in many towns. And between Hannah and I, we're actually double and triple booking for reviews with towns, and that's why you folks may not know it, but I had sent an email to most of the communities saying, if you don't need us at a meeting, we're not going to be there because we just can't handle the workload right now between the two of us. But she is handling that project, and so you'll see her face on that project. And I have a lot of faith in her capabilities, so don't hesitate to test her with questions on that project if you haven't.
Okay. Thank you, Lee J.
Getting back to the question of meetings in December, which you had put forward, Dave, are there really a lot of pressing projects that need to be reviewed in December? Is there something that is on the agenda that really needs to be taken care of?
No, and I'll have a better understanding come December 1st.
Okay.
I think it's mainly me. I like to be ahead of the game.
Okay. So we'll meet December 1st.
Yes.
Okay.
And chances are you won't have another meeting on December 15th.
Okay.
We would have to vote it in to add the next meeting, the last meeting in
Right.
December. So if we don't do anything, it's not on the schedule.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, if there are no further items for consideration from the esteemed Burgess Meeting Room in the depths of the Berwick Town Hall, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
I will second that motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Lee Day.